He represents Michigan's 11th congressional district in the U.S. House of Representatives. He was the first House Republican to oppose the bank bailout plan, calling it American socialism. He plays lead guitar in the bipartisan rock and country band called the Second Amendment. And he has the funnest name to say in politics, even better than Saxby Chambliss. It's close. We're delighted to have on the program Congressman Thaddeus McCotter. Hey, Congressman, how are you?
Hey, Greg, you ignoble savage. It's nice to be with you.
It's always good. And I'm so glad you dressed exactly like Bill Schultz. It was kind of like a little tribute.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer, sir.
Well, you know, Greg, last time I saw you, you were dressed as if you'd been at Lou Reed's estate sale.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I just rolled out of bed and I just kind of climbed across Times Square, and you were in a suit. It was kind of the odd couple.
It was very odd.
Yes.
I'm glad there were no pictures of it.
That's true. So I want to start with some questions about President Obama. He's been in office for 50 days now. How would you rate his performance?
Well, I think it's unfair to him to try to do that right now. It's only 7-some weeks into it. And I am, however, interested in the media obsession with trying to rate him as if he's a record on American Bandstand. I mean, there are people who have been fixated on President Obama as a candidate, and the media largely heralded him, and there were others that didn't, like you.
Yes.
But I think that in the end, it's relatively unfair to anyone, be it a Republican, Democrat, Independent, or someone like Bill, God forbid, who turns up in the nation's highest office to judge them this quickly.
Yeah, do you find it kind of humorous, though, when you see the press that have been so nice to him before the election, to how to deal with him when they perceive errors or mistakes? It's almost like they don't want to hurt his feelings.
Well, he's a very likable person.
Yeah.
He's very charming. He's very smart. And in the end, with the difficult times that we're going through, I think a lot of Americans understand that we want to see the country put on the right course. A lot of the economic hardship that we're experiencing, like we do in southeast Michigan, where the auto industry is hurting, that America comes out of this recession. Of course, we don't confuse that with the person and the policies. We just talk about the policies, and we want those to succeed.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about the GOP. They're in such disarray. What can they? Is that perception or is that reality?
Well, like when we were growing up, we used to look at the flock of seagulls hair and we'd say that looks in disarray.
Yes.
But there was a whole lot of work that went into sculpting that.
That is
so I would say that, if not the music itself.
Yes. Yes.
So let's say it may appear to be disorderly, but we're going through a very intense period of reorganization, restructuring the Republican Party. We're starting to see the unity come back, the message come back, the principles be expressed again, and I think that you're going to be very happy. We understand our role in this situation is to, where in principle we oppose the president, and offer constructive solutions that they may or may not take, and Americans can judge.
It's interesting that you do bring up Flock of Seagulls, because their most famous song, of course, was Iran. And who does Obama want to reach out to but Iran?
A wordy seg.
Yes. Yes. So what do you think needs to be done to fix the problems in the party and rebuild the party?
Well, I think we just return to fundamental principles. We have fundamental principles in the party. There are roughly 5 of them that you can name off the top of your head.
Yes.
Even you can. I know your head's a little lower to reach than the rest of us. But
no need for a height comment, sir, Congressman.
It was a low blow. I apologize. I don't mean to be short with you, Greg. But our liberty is from God, not the government.
Yeah.
Our sovereignty is in our souls, not the soil. Our strength, our security is through strength, not surrender. Our prosperity is from the private sector, not the public sector. And our truths are self-evident, not relative. Those are 5 good places to start. And what you're starting to see in the House, as we did on the stimulus bill and others, we opposed it in principle, and we put forward a plan that would have created twice the jobs at half the cost. So we're doing our responsibility in this to try to be constructive and help move America back to where we all want it to be.
Now, you know, the Dems are trying to paint Rush Limbaugh as the de facto head, which raises one important question to me is I don't know what de facto means. And do you agree with this, what they're saying?
Oh, maybe that article you were reading from the Vatican was actually in Latin, not Italian.
that could be right.
I was asked the question on a cable show, obviously of inferior quality to yours, which is really saying a lot.
Yeah.
But I was asked, how do you feel about being attacked for listening to Rush? And I said, who doesn't love Canadian power rock trios?
Yeah, that is true.
I did not know that big in 2112 or moving pictures was somehow impugning my motives as a Republican politician.
Well, I'm not a fan of prog rock, so I would say it does.
Well, I could have brought up Triumph, but the reporter would have been completely confused.
That is true. Speaking of which, last question, how's your band, Second Amendment? How's it going? Do you play a lot?
Oh, not so much anymore.
Yeah.
We have a lot of work to do, and 60% of our band left. It's not like we're going to be on VH1 behind the scenes. We didn't do enough drugs. We lost our ability to fit in spandex, and half of us went bald.
That's so sad. But we have a lovely picture of you playing the guitar behind your neck, which is kind of impressive.
Well, I had a blogger complain that I was playing an A chord. That was no big deal. The reality is, for that genius, that I was playing the lead to Freebird behind my head at the White House, and was actually picking off on a G.
Oh, interesting. Well done. Well, sir,
that sounds worse than it is, actually.
Yeah. Well, Congressman, we got to roll. Thank you so much. Please come back. We'll have you on for the whole hour and talk about all sorts of things. Congressman, see you soon. And do you have a comment on what you're seeing? You can email us. It's redeye@foxnews.com.